All right, let's dive right in. The market is absolutely on fire today. Bitcoin just blew past a massive psychological barrier. And yeah, the charts are glowing bright green. But if you look just a little bit closer, there's a puzzle here. While prices are absolutely soaring, hundreds of millions of dollars are quietly leaving the market. So what is really going on? Let's break it down. And there it is, $110,000. I mean, wow, a number that honestly seemed like a distant dream just a few months back. And Ethereum's catching fire too, breaking past $4,000. It really feels like the bull run is in full swing, right? But if you think this is just a simple story of prices going up, well, you're about to be surprised. So this is the core puzzle we have to solve today. How on earth can the price be surging like this, while the so-called smart money seems to be heading for the exits? It's a huge contradiction that could honestly define the next phase of this market, and we're going to unpack it, piece by piece. Okay, first, let's look at all the good news. What's driving this incredible price action? Because it turns out there are some really game-changing developments happening that are just pouring fuel on this fire. This is absolutely historic. BlackRock, the biggest asset manager on the entire planet, just launched a Bitcoin ETP. That's basically an easy way for big investors to get in on Bitcoin on the London Stock Exchange. This opens the floodgates for a massive new wave of capital from Europe and the UK. It is a major, major stamp of approval. And it's not just about new ways for people to buy in. The true believers, the OGs, they are adding to their stacks. Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy just snapped up another 168 Bitcoin. That brings the total corporate holdings to over 640,000 BTC. I mean, that is such a powerful signal of long-term conviction. The optimism isn't just a Bitcoin story either. We're seeing some serious capital flowing into specific altcoin projects that have really powerful catalysts behind them. This suggests the market is being a lot more selective, but it's still very, very active. Let's look at two big examples right now. And here is where that money is flowing. Ripple just got this massive boost from a $1 billion XRP Treasury fund. At the same time, Chainlink is up over 10% after a whale, that's a single large investor, bought up $116 million worth of Link. You see, these aren't just minor market moves. They are significant, news-driven events. Okay, so we've seen the good news, but now we have to pivot and look at the other side of the coin. There are some critical warning signs flashing right now that completely contradict that bullish story. And this is where things get really interesting. Look at this number. In just the last 24 hours, the spot Bitcoin ETFs saw a net outflow of almost $600 million. That means way more institutional money was pulled out than was put in. Just let that sink in for a second. While the price is hitting record highs, some of the big players are cashing out. And here you can see that contradiction side by side. The price action is screaming buy, but the institutional flows are whispering be careful. What this tells us is that this current rally, this explosive move up, isn't being fueled by new institutional money. And if that doesn't change soon, the foundation for this price level could be very, very shaky. So what could possibly explain this? Well, analysts over at Fidelity Digital Assets think we might be entering what's called the acceleration phase. It's a pattern we've seen before, where a bull market enters its final explosive leg up. The gains can be absolutely huge, but it's also defined by extreme volatility, and it's often the final surge right before a major market correction. Now, another key factor here is Bitcoin's dominance. It's holding strong at 58%. This means the vast majority of capital in the entire crypto market is huddled inside Bitcoin, almost like it's a relative safe haven. And what that's doing is it's effectively sucking all the air out of the room for the smaller, more speculative altcoins. In fact, this super high dominance has led a lot of analysts to a pretty stark conclusion. The data suggests that a broad-based altcoin season, where everything just rallies together, has effectively been canceled for this cycle. The focus has totally shifted to Bitcoin and just a few select altcoins that have really strong individual stories. So with all this conflicting data, a soaring price, but some really serious warning signs underneath, what's the smart move for an investor right now? Let's talk strategy. Let's start with market psychology. There's this thing called the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, and it basically measures the overall mood of the market. And right now, it's sitting at 29. And surprisingly, that means the market is officially in a state of fear. Now, that might sound bad, but it's actually good news. It suggests that even with these crazy high prices, we haven't reached that stage of irrational euphoria, at least not yet. there's still room to grow. The real warning sign will be if you see this number spike really quickly into extreme greed. That's when you know a pullback is probably right around the corner. So this brings us to risk management. In a volatile acceleration phase like this, you need a clear playbook. Okay, number 1, reduce your leverage. You want to avoid those mass liquidation events. Number 2, use strict stop losses. Protect your capital from those sudden violent price swings. And number 3, be super selective. Don't just buy any random altcoin. Focus on projects with clear, strong catalysts, like the ones we talked about. Looking ahead, you're going to want to keep your eyes on a few key events. Tomorrow, the Fed is holding a conference on Bitcoin and crypto payments, and any comments they make could definitely move the market. Longer term, we need to watch for progress on stablecoin regulation, like the Genius Act, and most importantly, watch those daily ETF flows. A turn back to positive inflows would be a really powerful confirmation of this rally. So that's where we stand, a market at a crossroads. We've got bullish price action clashing with bearish institutional flows. And right in the middle of all this, you've got projects like XRP getting these massive injections of capital. It really leaves us with a compelling question, doesn't it? Is this billion-dollar fund the catalyst that finally helps XRP fulfill its long-held promise? Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.